So, what does the policy then say about PSET? Let's look at our white paper for post-school education and training. And it says many of the things that people have already mentioned. For example, it speaks about the main purpose being put people in the workplace. And so what they're talking about is how do we build a close relationship with employers? And that's where the employment discussion is in this in the white paper. So close partnerships between colleges and employers, section 3.1.5. Close partnerships between colleges and employers will assist the colleges. So they're advocating colleges to, one, locate opportunities for work integrated learning, something that people have mentioned. College placement of students, where they can complete their qualifications, like for your end courses, and also get their workplace learning for your NCVs and for your apprenticeships. In addition, arrangements should be made for, and this is something that other people didn't mention, for college staff, for you lecturers to get regular workplace exposure, so as to keep abreast of development so that you can know what's happening in the industry. Also, something that people mentioned, employers should be in a position to advise colleges around issues of curriculum. And bonus, experts from industry could come and teach at colleges, so you can actually get people from the industry to come teach at the college on a part-time or an occasional, like as guest lecturers. And colleges may even be in a position to benefit from donations of equipment, so that people are working on the latest equipment. So these are some of the things that happen in other countries, and in some cases in South Africa. The white paper goes on to argue further that it will also benefit employers because, one, they will be getting people to assist in the businesses while they learn. Maybe even they bring new knowledge into the businesses that wasn't done before, technology diffusion, and that's that role that colleges can play with actually introducing new technologies, and it will help businesses with recruitment, something we've spoken about earlier, about how colleges and how businesses then see the students and say, okay, those are good students for recruitment purposes. So in terms of the kind of things that we have mentioned, there's placement, there's career guidance, there's industry partnerships, there's there's curriculum responsiveness, there's the practical. So those are some of the kind of things that have come up in our conversation. And we can reorganize that in terms of, there's practicals, career guidance, curriculum responsiveness. But there are almost connections between them, because on the one hand, you have stuff which I'm calling supply side issues, right? Where the supply. So these are things that the college will do. Let me just move my face. These are things that the college will do. So at the college level, colleges then can provide career guidance. They can look at how the curriculum can respond better to what is happening in industry. How do they update the curriculum? Now, many of your curriculum are centralized, so it may have to happen at the level of national government, because you're governed by national exams. So that is one of the issues that we picked up in our research. But we can also see to what extent lecturers, to some extent, lecturers do, where they bring their own experience and their own knowledge of what's happening in the industry into the classroom, and in that way enrich the curriculum that currently exists. There's the question of practicals. Are colleges offering practicals? And I know this has been an issue that some of you have raised, where colleges are unable to offer practicals because equipment is broken, the lecturers maybe don't know how to use it, there isn't enough equipment available. So those are all things that the college can look up, and which you need to discuss is, are these things happening at your colleges? How good is your career guidance? Are you preparing students navigational capacity, if you like, capabilities, if you like, so that they, when they go into an interview, they know the kind of things that they need to do. When they go into the workplace, they know the way in which they need to behave in those work integrated learning spaces. Do they have the capacity? Do they have the know-how to go into those industry spaces? That's on the college side. What has been added to your to the discussion on colleges, though, is that we are also looking at the demand side, where we're looking more at, and this is where the white paper is coming in, we're looking more at college collaborations. So we're looking at work integrated learning. Colleges cannot do work integrated learning alone. There needs to be a discussion between colleges and the industry, the different industries. So in each sector, in each course, will work with its own particular industry. You need to be looking at industry partnerships. What kind of partnerships exist? Maybe working on the latest technology, but building those partnerships and building at the horizon, something that we'll come back to later, that suddenly becomes part of what the colleges do. Right? But the colleges cannot do it alone. Industry needs to come to the party, and there needs to be a framework which we discussed in that. Then the third area is the in question of placement. To what extent are colleges able to place? And again, this is not something the colleges can do. These are all demand side issues that dependent on how the labor market operates, how industry operates, how the sector operates. And going back to those different models that we learned at the beginning about how issues is not just a technicist issue. How do we begin to build the societal capacity for collaboration to happen? So the argument then is that it's not just these supply side issues, it's not just career guidance, curriculum responsiveness, and practicals, so it is that too. And we need to look very carefully at what our colleges have in place. But then we also need to look at the other side, and we need to look at the collaboration issues about work integrated learning, industry partnerships, and placement. What's happening there? So it's issues of supply and it's issues of demand.